Learning objectives. At the end of this topic, you will be able to discuss about the modes of reproduction, describe and draw the structure of male and female reproductive system, describe the process of fertilization, outline the steps of development of fetus from a zygote. Can you recall the process of digestion, circulation, and respiration, which you studied in your previous classes?
These processes are essential for the survival of every individual.
Right. You've also learned about the process of reproduction in plants. Reproduction is essential for the continuation of a species. Imagine what would have happened if organisms had not reproduced. You will realize that reproduction is very important as it ensures the continuation of similar kinds of individuals generation after generation. There are two modes of reproduction. They are 1. Sexual reproduction and 2. Asexual reproduction. Plants that reproduce sexually have male and female reproductive parts. In animals also, males and females have different reproductive parts or organs. Like plants, the reproductive parts in animals also produce gametes that fuse to form a zygote. It is the zygote which develops into a new individual. This type of reproduction, beginning from the fusion of male and female gametes, is called sexual reproduction. Let us find out the reproductive parts in humans and study the process of reproduction in them. Let's know about the male reproductive organs. The male reproductive organs include a pair of testes, singular testis, 2 sperm ducts, and a penis. The testis produces the male gametes called sperms. Millions of sperms are produced by the testes. Those sperms are very small in size. Each has a head, a middle piece, and a tail. Indeed, each sperm is a single cell with all the usual cell components. Let's discuss about female reproductive organs. The female reproductive organs are a pair of ovaries, oviducts, fallopian tubes, and the uterus. Ovary produces female gametes called ova, eggs. In human beings, a single matured egg is released into the oviduct by one of the ovaries every month. Uterus is the part where development of the baby takes place. Like the sperm, an egg is also a single cell. The first step in the process of reproduction is the fusion of a sperm and an ovum. When sperms come in contact with the egg, one of the sperms may fuse with the egg. Such fusion of the egg and the sperm is called fertilization. During fertilization, the nuclei of the sperm and the egg fuse to form a single nucleus. This results in the formation of a fertilized egg or zygote. The process of fertilization is the meeting of an egg cell from the mother and a sperm cell from the father. So, the new individual inherits some characteristics from the mother and some from the father. Look at your brother or sister. See if you can recognize some characters in them similar to those of your mother or your father. Fertilization, which takes place inside the female body, is called internal fertilization. Internal fertilization occurs in many animals, including humans, cows, dogs, and hens. In many animals, fertilization takes place outside the body of the female. In these animals, fertilization takes place in water. Let us find out how this happens. As the eggs are laid, the male deposits sperms over them. Each sperm swims randomly in water with the help of its long tail. The sperms come in contact with the eggs. This results in fertilization. This type of fertilization, in which the fusion of a male and a female gamete takes place outside the body of the female, is called external fertilization. It is very common in aquatic animals such as fish, starfish, etc. Let's discuss about the development of an embryo. Fertilization results in the formation of zygote, which begins to develop into an embryo. The zygote divides repeatedly to give rise to a ball of cells. The cells then begin to form groups that develop into different tissues and organs of the body. This developing structure is termed an embryo. The embryo gets embedded in the wall of the uterus for further development. The embryo continues to develop in the uterus. It gradually develops the body parts such as hands, legs, head, eyes, ears, etc. The stage of the embryo in which all the body parts can be identified is called a fetus. Soon after fertilization, the zygote divides repeatedly and travels down the oviduct. As it travels down, many protective layers are formed around it. The hard shell that you see in a hen's egg is one such protective layer. After the hard shell is formed around the developing embryo, the hen finally lays the egg. The embryo takes about 3 weeks to develop into a chick. You must have seen the hen sitting on the eggs to provide sufficient warmth. After the chick is completely developed, it bursts open the eggshell. In animals which undergo external fertilization, development of the embryo takes place outside the female body. The embryos continue to grow within the egg coverings. After the embryos develop, the eggs hatch. You must have seen numerous tadpoles swimming in ponds and streams. We have learned that some animals give birth to young ones, while some animals lay eggs which later develop into young ones. The animals which give birth to young ones are called viviparous animals. Those animals which lay eggs are called oviparous animals. The eggs of a few animals are easy to collect because their mothers lay them outside their bodies. These animals from which you have collected the eggs are examples of oviparous animals. A dog, cow, or cat does not lay eggs. The mother gives birth to the young ones. These are examples of viviparous animals. The new individuals which are born or hatched from the eggs continue to grow till they become adults. In some Observe the different stages of frog, starting from the egg to the adult stage. We find that there are 3 distinct stages, that is egg, tadpole, larva, and the adult. Similarly, the caterpillar or the pupa of silkworm looks very different from the adult moth. The features that are present in the adult are not found in these young ones. Then a beautiful moth emerges out of the cocoon. In the case of tadpoles, they transform into adults capable of jumping and swimming. The transformation of the larva into an adult through drastic changes is called metamorphosis. In each hydra, there may be 1 or more bulges. These bulges are the developing new individuals and they are called buds. In hydra, the new individuals develop as outgrowths from the single parent. This type of reproduction in which only a single parent is involved is called asexual reproduction. Since new individuals develop from the buds in hydra, this type of asexual reproduction is called budding. Another method of asexual reproduction is observed in the microscopic organism amoeba. We have already learnt about the structure of amoeba. We know that amoeba is a single-celled organism. It begins the process of reproduction by the division of its nucleus into 2 nuclei. This is followed by division of its body into 2, each part receiving a nucleus. Finally, 2 amoebae are produced from 1 parent amoeba. This type of asexual reproduction, in which an animal reproduces by dividing into 2 individuals, is called binary fission. Let's summarize the topic. Sexual reproduction begins from the fusion of male and female gametes. Fertilization is the fusion of the egg and the sperm. The nuclei of the sperm and the egg fuse to form a single nucleus. Budding is a type of asexual reproduction in which new individuals develop from the buds in hydra.